Hello everyone and welcome to our event today, Starting a Counselling Service. Is it for you? Our interview with Nicola Currie. A very warm welcome to you, Nicola.
Thank you, John, and I'm so delighted to be here. I'm really looking forward to sharing what I know and hopefully getting some interaction with the chat room, so let's do it.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we've been doing lots of thinking and talking about this, and it's finally time to have the discussion with everyone. So
here we are. Wow, it's great.
Yeah. And a very warm welcome to everyone who's joining us online. We can see there's already a whole bunch of people watching, so that's fantastic.
Great. I just want to thank everyone, really, for giving up their Sunday night, well, for an hour of their Sunday night to come on and support this. It's brilliant. And actually to thank you as well, John and Sandra, for allowing this to happen. It's great. Really appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you, Nicola, and it's great to have you here with us and everybody who's viewing. And of course, there's also the option for to join in with the chat room as well. You can see that some people are already doing that.
Brilliant.
Saz will pop her email into the chat room, so if you are having some difficulties logging in, just click on Sandra's or Saz's email address. There it is in the chat room. Your email box will come up and send Sandra a message, which will help you in. And that's great because using the chat room, Nicola, you can see what everybody's
typing. I can see the chat room. It's exciting already. Yeah, it's great. Hi, everyone.
And of course, any comments or questions that we get in the chat room, we'll try and respond to as much as we can.
Brilliant.
Great. Well, maybe to get us started, Nicola, because we're all online here, no one's in the room together, I guess.
I know.
Can I ask you to give us a sense of where you're located geographically?
Okay. So where I am, well, it's quite funny because I'm actually in a cupboard in my house because that's where I keep the computer. And my house is in a town called Musselburgh, which is right on the outskirts of Edinburgh in Scotland. So I live in a beautiful part of the world, but right now, as we speak, I'm in a cupboard.
Wow. Yes, well, thank you for having us into your home and your cupboard. And of course, Musselburgh is such a lovely part of the country. Yeah, sounds lovely. So I'm wondering, Nicola, if you can tell us a little bit about your professional background.
Okay, yeah, I've had to think about this because you're giving me the question in advance, and I guess my professional background split into two halves. So before children and after children. So before children, I was a qualified medical secretary and receptionist, so I was one of those people that you would have to phone to get an appointment to see the doctor. So hopefully I was a good one. And then after children, I had lots of kind of little jobs just to kind of get some money in while I was looking after my children. And then around 2001, I decided that I wanted to train as a counsellor. And so that's kind of where this part of my life has come into play. Is that enough just now, or shall I say a bit more?
Yeah, well, maybe tell us a little bit about what, kind of where you've trained, what you've done since
Okay,
then.
sure. I trained, well, initially I did an HNC in counselling, that was 2 years, and then I joined the Persona Counselling qualification, and that was a 2-year diploma. At the same time, I was working in a mental health project, running groups and doing lots of other things, supporting people there. And ultimately, I trained as a supervisor in 2009, so I'm now a qualified counsellor, supervisor, run my own business. And whilst I was working on that project, and we'll get onto this later, is I set up a counselling service there where I recruited and trained students who were also in placement.
Right, okay. Well, that sounds really interesting, and a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight. I mean, we're here to talk about starting a counselling service, and, as you've said on the website for the event, you've set up 3 counselling services now. So I kind of want to ask you, why are you so passionate about this subject? What is it that kind of brings you here tonight to talk about it?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because I guess like everybody else, when they're doing their diploma, they've usually got lots of other things going on as well. So for me, I had 2 small children. I had to work because I needed money, and I was studying, and I had essays to do, and also had client hours to build up. So I had 2 placements to build those hours up, and I found myself running about between projects trying to get my client hours. And I suddenly realised that the project that I was working in would probably have benefited from my skills. So I spoke to my college and I spoke to my boss and asked if I could set up a service there. And they both surprisingly said yes, as long as I got a mentor and as long as I had good supervision, that was a goer. So from that point, I set up my own counselling service, and it just became very organic, and it just grew bigger and bigger. And I just think, well, if somebody like me can set up a counselling service, I'm sure other people can. It's not hard. There is lots of things that you need to think about. I've learned a lot over the years, and I guess I've got a lot that I could share with people. And so really I want to encourage people, if you're thinking about setting up a service, whether it's at home or within a project, go for it. And let's chat about what you need to know tonight and see if I can help.
Yeah. So that's, I think the whole idea of setting up a service can sound like it's overwhelming, but I guess you're saying that, well, it's possible, it's doable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots to think about, but, give the right amount of thought to what you need to do, and, off you go. You can give it a bash.
Yeah. And I guess, the conversation is huge, and we've only got the time that we have tonight. So I guess one of the things that you wanted to do, I know, is kind of help people think about the questions that they need for their counselling service. So that's one of the things that we'll be up to tonight, thinking about the kinds of questions that need to be considered. Someone is just making a comment, I guess, which sounds interesting. Sounds like you were in the right place at the right time.
Well, I guess I probably was, because really if the college had said no, that would have been it. Game over. I wouldn't have been able to set it up. And my boss was really supportive of that as well. So with both of them saying yes, I was like, whoa. I was able to give it a bash. And I was able to at least drop one of my placements. I wasn't running about as much to get my client hours, really.
Yeah, so there's something about just that synchronicity that the services you were working for were really
were very
open.
supportive. Yeah, very supportive and open.
Yeah, well, that sounds ideal. Yeah. Well, a question right away about ethics and the ethics in working from home.
Yes.
Could that be a place that we start, do you think?